Question 2. Marc took a random sample of 16 students from a school and for each student recorded the number of letters X in their last name, the number of letters Y in their first name. His results are shown in the scatter diagram on the next page. Part A, describe the correlation between X and Y. So as we can see from the scatter graph, there is a negative correlation between X and Y. The question then says, Marc suggests that parents with long last names tend to give their children shorter first names. Part B, using the scatter graph, comment on Marc's suggestion, giving a reason for your answer. So for part B, we can say that Marc's suggestion is supported by the scatter diagram, as the scatter diagram shows a negative correlation. The next part of the question says, the results from Marc's random sample of 16 observations are given in the table below. Part C, use your calculator to find the product moment correlation coefficient between X and Y for these data. So for part C, we're going to use the calculator to find R. And for this, we are first going to go to Menu and then press number 6 for Statistics. We are then going to choose number 2 for y is equal to a plus bx because that represents the linear correlation. And we are now going to input all the numbers for x and y that are shown in Marc's table. So for x, we have 3, 6, 8, 7, 5, 3, 11, 3, 4, 5, 4, 9, 7, 10, 6, and 6. We can then input all the y values in the table as well, which are corresponding to the x value. So if we go back to the top, we can put 7, 7, 4, 4, 6, 8, 5, 5, 8, 4, 7, 4, 5, 5, 6, and 3. We need to make sure that we've got all the values correctly corresponding to each other. And after that, we are going to press Option button and select number 4 for Regression Calculator. This now gives us some values, and the value that we are interested in is the R value, and that is negative 0.545. Part D. Test whether or not there is evidence of a negative correlation between the number of letters in the last name and the number of letters in the first name. You should state your hypothesis clearly. Use a 5% level of significance. So for part D, we are first going to set a null hypothesis that P is equal to 0. And the alternative hypothesis is going to be that P is less than 0 because we are testing for a negative correlation. So the sample size that we are testing is 16 because we have 16 observations given in the table. We have a 5% significance level, and to find the critical value, we are going to use the statistical table, which is given in the formula booklet. So from the statistical table, the n is 16, so we are going to use a sample size of 16. And because we are testing for a 5% significance level, we are going to look in the column of the 0.05, and the value that matches those is 0.4259. However, because we are looking at it being less than 0, this time our critical value is going to be negative 0.4259. From this, we can see that the R value is less than the critical value, and therefore we can say that the result is significant. There is enough evidence to suggest that there is a negative correlation between the number of letters in the last name and the number of letters in the first name.